He's George Kittle, the Niners tight end, four-time Pro Bowler, and Tight End University begins its third year, three-day event at Vandy in Nashville from June 20th through the 22nd. George is back on the program. We haven't played the how much can you bench game in a while. How about we do this with George? How much do you think? Max, one rep. Todd, what do you think for George?
425.
425.
Holy moly.
Okay. Seton?
Say 345?
All right. Marvin?
That's respectful.
Marvin?
385.
385. Okay. Paulie?
I'm going to go 4 even based off his reaction.
4 even. All right. I'm going to go 390.
Wow.
How much can George Kittle bench press one time? Max rep is what?
I haven't done a max rep in about 2 years, but I think I got 405.
405. Okay.
I think I got it once. Now I did have like one board on my chest just for that, but I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
That's fair, right?
What's the most you've seen somebody bench press?
I watched Shaq Thompson, the guard. He works out with me in Nashville, and the bar was bending on both sides as he benched it. And he was benching more than I squat. So, and I squat a lot. So that was kind of humbling experience to see him do that.
Well, what are we talking about? 500, 600?
Yeah, somewhere it was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it was over 550, I'm pretty sure.
But
maybe 500, 550.
Who would bench the most at Tight End University?
It's a good question. My first name that came to my head was like Luke Stocker, old Titans tight end. He's a big stocky guy. I work out with him too. I would say him or Hayden Hurst he's a strong dude. He's got some girth to him. I would definitely say Hayden. He's definitely a strong guy.
When did the tight end position change?
Like from being an extra left tackle?
Yeah.
I think there's guys that started the change from Tony G to Antonio Gates, Shannon Sharp, like guys that were ahead of their time. Because nowadays, if you have a tight end that can only run block and he can't run routes, he's only playing like 10 snaps a game. And so to be able to play if you want to play every single snap, if you want to get paid like a top guy, you have to be able to do everything, and you have to get out there and run routes. But I think it was like the biggest, Gronk and Kelsey and like Jimmy Graham was kind of like he was like right before Gronk and Kelsey. And I think they both really changed the game with just their passing with the receiving stuff, just because once you have a tight end that can dominate the middle of a field going against nickels and linebackers, or you have to use two guys to cover him and then you open up all the outside guys, I think that completely changed the game. So, I mean, I would say like 7 to 10 years ago, I think the game's completely changed. And I think it just keeps getting faster and faster with the tight end position.
Yeah, I go back to Mike Ditka and John Mackey. Those were guys who could break open and break off a 5-10-yard pass reception, and they could take it a long distance. Kellen Winslow might have been the first athletic tight end, and almost felt like that was a wide receiver, but Kellen Winslow was probably the first one that I remember. And then as far as getting paid, wide receivers get paid. Where do the tight ends sort of fit? How do you get paid as a tight end and where you can get wide receiver money?
Well, if you look back at it, in the last 6 years, I'm pretty sure Travis Kelce is leading the NFL in receiving yards, and he makes half of what our top wide receivers are making. And that doesn't make sense to me. And so I'll continually be a vocal voice for tight ends to get paid more money. But you know what? That's just the battle we're fighting. That's kind of the point of Tight End U, is just to elevate the position so more guys have an opportunity to go out there and secure a bag and to raise that pay grade for all of us.
Yeah, but you guys are so important now.
Thank you.
But it's like running backs, though, George. Running backs are still important. They got to catch 80 passes and rush for 1,000 yards. They have a short career, and they don't get any respect whatsoever. Why is that?
Oh, Dan, you're getting me fired up today, man. That's crazy. You know what? You look at a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who one season had over 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. And I think his contract might be 16 million, and which is awesome. And I'm not going to complain about making millions of dollars. I'm not. But when you compare it to other guys in the league, there's wide receivers who are second string wide receivers making 20 or making 18 million. And this is a guy like Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, 4,000-yard seasons in a row. He's 27 years old. He's got at least 3 to 5 left in him at a high level, in my opinion. But like you just look at Christian, like every single play he affects the defense. Even if he's running a wide route to the side, there's 2 guys looking at him, which is opening up the middle of the field for everybody else. And I'm not saying that the Niners should pay Christian McCaffrey more money. I hope they do. He's fantastic. But just the running back position itself is very disrespected because of the amount of carries and touches that these guys get every single game. And like another thing is like an argument is, running backs get hurt a lot. They're whatever, like their livelihood in the NFL is not as long as people. I argue that with OBJ just came off of 2 season-ending surgeries and he's making $18 million. So don't say it's injuries. Don't say that. It's about the player, and OBJ is fantastic, and I wish him success. But like, if you're going to pay a guy who's coming off 2 surgeries $18 million, how can the best running back in the NFL make 16? And then how can the best tight ends in the NFL make 15 or less?
He's
crazy.
George Kittle, the Niners tight end, 4-time Pro Bowler. Explain Cooper Kupp.
Ooh. He's like a calm, silent assassin technician. He just does everything right. I've seen him work before. Hung out with him a couple times. Fantastic dude, family dude. But like just his intent with what he does is pretty. I think that's what makes him so good. Is every time he touches the field, his intent is to be great and to be the best one on the field, and that's what it looks like on film. And you see everything that he does. He can run out a route on anybody, whether it's a corner, safety, nickel, linebacker. It doesn't matter who's covering him. He can be double covered. And he's also really smart. You see those post-game interviews where he's talking about the fire blitz off the side. He's hot off of this and all that stuff, which is, I see that as well. I just don't explain in the same terms as he does. But the way that he breaks that stuff down, it's really impressive. So that every time he's running a route, he's seeing the whole defense and he's seeing, hey, the leverage is outside. I know that it's probably one plug. So when I run this route, I need to create a little bit more width on the outside. So when I do break inside, there's a window for Stafford to hit me. And you can see that thought process when you watch this film. And he's fantastic. I mean, what can you say about that? The Triple Crown a year ago. So, I hope he comes back healthy and just dominates again, except for against the Niners.
What was it like in the huddle when you were playing Philadelphia in the playoffs?
Before or after I lost 2.5 quarterbacks?
Well, the whole process there, that you start out, you got to feel good. Brock Purdy, yep. we're feeling good about our team. Then he gets hurt. and then what are you thinking now? And then when McCaffrey comes in as your quarterback, what are you thinking?
You know what? I was incredibly confident before the game. Purdy was 8-0. He's hot. Our offense was averaging 30 points a game, number 1 defense in the league. I think all of our confidence was sky high. Brock gets hurt. Josh Johnson comes in. I play with Josh. That was my second and a half year playing with Josh Johnson. Definitely have gotten a lot of reps with him. One of the years we played together, I was coming off of IR, and so I got a bunch of reps with him. Know he can throw a ball. Know he knows the offense. So still confident. Honestly, I was still really confident. As long as someone's back there that can throw a football, I know that we can still run our offense. And then, once Josh got hurt, which was really unfortunate, was that like a drive into the third quarter. And then Christian comes in, or Brock Purdy comes in, and he can't throw left-handed, which I'm very disappointed about. And hey, I was telling John Lynch we should draft quarterbacks who can throw both arms. Why not? Seems like a simple thing to do. I have to run block, pass pro, and run routes. Why can't a quarterback throw with 2 arms?
All right, fair point.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Dan. But so it was the whole. It just kind of sucked. You look at guys, and especially when we're out of quarterbacks, we're just on our running back or our quarterback that can't throw. You're just kind of like, well, that we're going to get 11 in the box. They're going to blitz every single play. There's literally nothing that we can do. There's no trick play that we can run. We're already down 14 points. Like it was definitely dying a slow death. That's about what it was. And there's not much we could do differently about it. I had people hit me up like, hey, you just got to work harder, and that's how you guys are going to win next year. And it's just like, I don't know, winning 12 games straight and then losing 2 quarterbacks doesn't really feel like I need to work harder. It just feels like I need to be a little bit luckier that my quarterback stays healthy. So, there's that. Nothing that, I don't really linger with it too. I thought I played a pretty good game. Nothing really I could have done differently at that point too. But it is what it is.
Are you expecting Brock to be starting week 1?
Oh, yeah, I am. I mean, if you win 8 games in a row, it's hard to bench that guy.
No, I mean health-wise.
Oh, yeah. I do. I think, he's been throwing. I think he looks good. I've seen him throw once or twice. He's confident. He's in a good place mentally and physically. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, we were rolling with him, averaging 30 points a game. So looking forward to it.
What do you hope these tight ends get out of Tight End University?
Let's see. The main things I hope they get is, first, I hope then, like, when a rookie finishes his first game against a team, that he is comfortable going across the field and talking to other tight ends, and to feel like they're not alone out here and they're not just like out at sea by themselves. And if they want to, they can text me. They can text Travis Kelce. They can hit up Greg Olson. They can hit up Hayden Hurst. They can hit up Dallas Goedert and ask him questions. It's just kind of building a brotherhood of, whether it's support or, just friendship. That's kind of my biggest goal with the tight end U. After that, I hope guys come in and they learn a thing or two about whether it's run game, running routes, or just your mindset approaching certain and individual plays, whether it's a game or a game week. It's just learning how to play the tight end position at a high level. That's what I hope to get out of it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Quarterbacks seem to have this fraternity, and I don't know if other positions do, but you're trying to create that fraternal nature with tight ends. This is how pros do it. This is what's going to happen your first year. This is where you need to improve. Those kind of things. So it's sort of a seminar tutorial, a PowerPoint of how to play the position. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Thanks, Dan. No, it's fun, and this year we got Gronk's coming through. Really excited about that.
Keg stands.
We'll see. Hey, you said fraternity. Those are your words, not mine. We got that. And then one of my favorite guests we got coming this year is Jordan Reed, and he's going to teach releases, which I'm really excited about. So we have like a whole highlight reel of his top releases, and he's just going to talk about his mindset. Hey, this guy's press at the inside release route. These are my thought process going into these releases. And while I don't know if everybody can do Jordan Reed's releases, because he's one of the freakiest athletes I've ever seen, it'll still be fun to be able to see that and be able to kind of apply that to your game. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Will Ferrell is Frank the Tank. So Gronk would be Frank the Tank from Will Ferrell in Old School, where there's going to be keg stands, and we could get loose here at Tight End University.
We're not going to not have a good time. I will say that. We're going to have some fun.
Okay. And then you have partners there, event partners to help you as well. So they'll be involved in this as well.
Yeah, the whole thing, the reason that we can do all of this is because of our sponsors. Charmin is one of our big sponsors. You can see that right here. See that on my T-shirt right here.
Okay.
Charmin, tight ends. It kind of goes hand in hand. Let's just be honest. So they're, a big partner. Bridgestone is a huge partner for us too. They're back for year 3. We're actually cool too. We always try to give back at some point during Tight End U. So about 20 of the 75 guys, we're going to meet up with about 150 high school kids and 50 middle schoolers and talk about literacy and why reading is important, why school is so important. So to be able to give back to the national community.
Don't bring Gronk to that.
I think, one of the things, Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm a big Calvin and Hobbes guy. Got him tatted on my hand right there. I know. So, but
of course you do.
With the 5th and 6th graders, we're going to go through a bunch of Calvin and Hobbes books. So I think Gronk could participate in that one pretty easily. Let's see. We got Raising Cane's, one of my favorite chicken restaurants. I'm obsessed with Raising Cane sauce. So really excited to see them back. And, Levi's, because every tight end looks great in a pair of Levi's.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, I see what you're doing. I think we need to have a long snapper because, those guys are forgotten. There's a science to being a long snapper, and you only get mentioned when you screw up.
Dude, I know. Isn't that brutal? The only time you could have like 10 game-winning ones in a year, and no one will say your name once. And one mildly bad snap, and you're off. You're out of the NFL.
What's it like in the huddle when somebody gets called for holding, and you have to bring back a long touchdown, and then they announce that holding number 73, and then he has to come back into the huddle. Anybody say anything?
I had one of those this year. It was, you know what? I'm not allowed to say that it's a bad call, but I disagree with the call.
Okay.
And I had a holding call on a touchdown by Elijah Mitchell. We were playing the Saints, and I think I was blocking the guy, and he tried to move, and he tripped over my foot, and so he kind of fell a little bit, and the back judge threw a flag on me. It was like a 50-yard touchdown run, and they're like, yeah, holding 85. I just say, Trent Williams looks at me and goes, don't even think about it. Terrible call. Don't worry about it. I'm like, thank you, Trent Williams. I feel great about myself now.
Have fun there. Play nice at Tight End University at Vandy, the 20th through the 22nd. He's George Kittle. Thank you, George. Good to talk to you again.
Dan, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
How was it like hitting Stone Cold Steve Austin with a chair?
It was very nerve-wracking. I have the chair right over there in the corner.
Oh, you still
And
have that? So cool.
yes, he had a pad. It was probably an 8x8 pad on his back. And he said, "What? Just make sure you hit me right there." And I go, "Okay." So I have a chair. I have a folding chair, and I smack him. And then he goes, "You got to hit me harder than that." And I hit him again. He goes, "Harder." And then we did like 5 takes. The last one that I did, I swung so hard with the metal chair, you can see the paper on the bulletin board like flying. I hit him so hard, and he goes, "Yeah, can I have another one, Dan?" In the commercial I did, and I hit him again. There's a big dent in it, but I had to hit him right on that pad. And I thought, oh my God, if I miss and it glances up, and nerve-wracking. But he was so much fun and a great sport, and it probably took us 30 minutes to do that. But when he said, "You got to hit me harder than that," and I went, "All right, I'm going to." And, I went all in on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, man.
Good dude.
I really
Good
appreciate
dude.
that.
All right. Thank you, George.
Yeah, see you guys.
That's Tight End University. George Kittle. Always good to have him on.